Welcome back, Nerd Squad! Superman is known as being one of the oldest characters in comic book history. He has been around for over 80 years and yet is still a relevant and well-loved superhero today, who remains fairly ageless. Even amidst continuity resets, the character of Superman has remained a mainstay at DC. He has changed over time in regards to appearance, continuity, and new alternate versions being introduced. And while Lex Luthor is still almost always lurking around a corner to do something dastardly to Supes, there have been new villains who have been introduced to us as well in the world of Superman throughout the years. Today we'll be taking a look at some of the newest villains on his roster as we count down the top 10 newest Superman villains. All of the ones selected for this list are from the past decade, and man, have we seen some good new ones introduced. And now, let's get counting. Number 10, Glenn Morgan. Glenn, or Mr. Metropolis as he is sometimes known, was a villain that New 52 Superman came up against. He ended up being targeted by both Superman, both as Kal-El and Clark Kent, due to crimes he had been involved in. After being dropped off the side of a tall building, he was forced to confess to his involvement, but managed to avoid going to prison. He spoke out against Superman as an alien threat to planet Earth, and managed to attract the attention of General Sam Lane and Lex Luthor, who then became obsessed with trapping Superman. Number 9, Super Doom. This villain first appeared in Action Comics Volume 2, issue number 9. Super Doom is a villain who was actually created by the non-powered team of Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and Jimmy Olsen, in an unfortunate partnership with the evil corporation Overcorp. Super Doom was supposed to be, for Lois, Jimmy, and Clark, the savior of humanity. They envisioned him as a hero named Superman, who would be created using a device they invented that turned thoughts into reality. However, instead, their Superman became corrupted and turned evil, and set out on a mission to destroy every other Superman in the multiverse, becoming known as Super Doom. Calvin Ellis, the Superman of Earth 23, with the help of his Earth's Lex Luthor, were the two who ended up putting a stop to Super Doom the first time around, though eventually Super Doom would be redeemed and would later be transformed into a hero. But when he was introduced, he was a villain. Number 8, Wraith. Wraith first appeared in Superman Unchained number 1 and was created by Scott Snyder and Jim Lee. Wraith is an acronym for William Rudolph's Ace in the Hole. He was introduced in the story Superman Unchained as the original Superman, an alien who was sent as a gift to Earth from an alien race as a response to a mathematical equation that Earth had sent out into space, which that alien race had intercepted. Wraith was used by the military as a weapon and tool in World War II, and continued to be used by them ever since. Wraith, however, as a super being, belonged to the US military, and of course was only loyal to the USA, and ended up turning on Superman when Kal-El came into conflict with General Sam Lane. Wraith was also stronger than Superman, who turned to the Justice League for help in defeating Wraith, which ultimately only made Wraith expand his wrath to that of the Justice League as well. Number 7, Kiyo the Trickster. Kiyo is an ancient trickster who is similar to Marvel's Loki and is also associated with the concept of chaos. She often causes trouble just because she can and because she is curious to see what will happen. Kiyo was responsible for transporting both Superman and Batman through time to an alternate world where they met alternate versions of themselves and were forced to fight. She often wipes the memories of those she meddles with, leaving them with no knowledge of her existence or what she did to them. Kiyo first appeared in Batman/Superman issue number 2. Number 6, Leviathan. Leviathan was another mysterious villain of Superman's for a good amount of time during DC's Leviathan event. He was the leader of Leviathan, an anti-capitalist organization who seeks to dismantle society and reshape it through replacing the world's leaders. Basically, it's a terrorist organization. Writer Brian Michael Bendis later revealed that this mysterious figure would actually end up being not a new character, but instead a character who was well established in DC canon, although for a while we thought it was a new character. The big reveal would be that Leviathan was Mark Shaw, aka Manhunter, who had joined the organization and organized a coup to overthrow its leader, Talia al Ghul. After successfully doing so, Shaw became the new leader, taking up the codename Leviathan. And that's who we know him as now, Leviathan, no longer Manhunter. Number 5, Ulysses. Ulysses first appeared in Superman Volume 3, issue 32, in the New 52. Ulysses himself was actually Neil Quinn from Earth. He was sent off-world to the 4th dimension in an attempt to save his life by his parents, who actually thought Earth would soon perish, much like Superman's parents did with him. He returned to Earth years later with superpowers acquired from the 4th dimension that were similar to Superman's, and discovered that Earth still exists. It actually hadn't perished. Ulysses was convinced by the Machinist to betray Earth when he was shown the potential for evil that humanity had. He then attempts to sacrifice 6 million humans in an effort to power his adoptive home, the fourth dimension, also known as the Great World. Number 4. Blank. Blank was first introduced in Superman Lois and Clark issue number 3. He is a psionic supervillain who posed a great threat to Superman post-Flashpoint, despite his powerful telepathic, telekinetic, and pyrokinetic abilities. However, Superman was able to restrain him until Blank was broken out by Cyborg Superman, who recruited him for his new Superman Revenge Squad. Number 3. Mr. Oz / Jor-El. Jor-El first appeared in the New Earth continuity in Man of Steel number 1 in the 80s. While this might not make him a new character, seeing him reimagined as a villain in the Prime Earth continuity was new. He made his first appearance in that continuity in Action Comics volume number 2, issue number 3. More recently, he has been known as Mr. Oz, who is a somewhat villainous and mysterious character who is seen interfering with Superman's life. Jor-El adopted this name after an unknown force transported him to Earth, allowing him to witness the cruelty of man. Since then, he adopted the name Mr. Oz and set out to prove to his son Kal-El that humans are evil beings who are unworthy of his protection. His master plan and who he was finally revealed in the story arc The Oz Effect. Number 2. Rogol-Zar. Rogol-Zar was created by Brian Michael Bendis and Jim Lee and first appeared in Action Comics issue 1000. What an issue to come in on. 1,000. That's a lot of issues. Rogol-Zar is an alien warrior who claimed to be responsible for the destruction of Krypton. He hates Kryptonians. Rogol is also strong enough to take on both Superman and Supergirl at the same time, and is a very powerful foe. He has been temporarily defeated and was held in a permanent stasis to prevent him from harming anybody else. But I'm sure this isn't the last that we'll see of this new mighty foe. He's just too powerful. Plus, if you destroy Krypton, if you make that claim, probably gonna be around for a while. Number 1. Dr. Fate. Wait, what? Isn't Dr. Fate a good guy? Also, isn't he originally from the 1940s? Yes and yes, but in a new issue of Superman, issue 24 of volume 5, a magical storm is brewing to take on the Man of Steel himself. Superman is nigh invincible with only a few weaknesses to speak of, but despite having few, these weaknesses are pretty massive, pretty mighty for Kal-El, one being a weakness to magic. We've got a synopsis and cover art for issue 24 that reveals Superman will have a new villain on the rise who is pitting Supes against Dr. Fate. So while I'm sure Dr. Fate won't actually be going full villain and this will be a misunderstanding, this still means that Superman could have a very powerful and mysterious foe indeed rising up. Perhaps one that is also based in the realm of magic, which is pretty crazy, as this could mean that they could very well be one of the more powerful foes that Superman has yet to face in over 80 years of comics. But only time will tell what is really happening in this story where Superman takes on Dr. Fate. And you'll have to wait till at least June of 2020 to find out, assuming there aren't more comic book delays for that title. Thank you so much for watching, Nerd Squad. I hope you enjoyed this list and learned about some new villains from some of Superman's newer storylines that you might not yet have explored. Who are some of your favorite Superman villains? Are there any new DC villains you'd like to see more of in the comics? Or are there any that you would like to see featured in their very own facts video on our channel? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're on your way down there, be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you love the world of Superman as much as we do. And be sure to smash that subscribe if you haven't already. And ring our bell, because I love it when you do. And just because we are filming from our homes right now does not mean we won't have more awesome content coming your way, so you do want to ring that bell. Till next time, this has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host, Amanda McKnight. You stay nerdy, YouTube.